Hi, welcome to Tea with Mali. Today we have Richa Badami. She is a dear friend of mine. She is also a transformational coach. She is a soon-to-be author. She's a mother. She is inspiring people all over the world, and I'm so lucky to have you here today, not just on the show, but as my friend. I want to share with people your work. And your work is not just about transforming people and meditations and Reiki. It really is a spiritual calling for you. How did you come to know that?
Well, I came to know that in a very personal way. It was when I was in my early 20s actually, and life had been happening to me for several years before that. And as you know, when life happens, a lot of things happen, and there's some good and some not so good, and some can get just quite ugly actually. And so I had my fair share of those events in my past. I would say that I actually didn't even go seeking what might be a solution for the predicament I was in. I had really given up and thought that this is it. I might as well just accept that my life is hopeless and dark, and I'm just going to learn how to adapt myself around the circumstances I'm in. And I think that I think that as beings on this planet, as human beings, no one is destined for a life of darkness. And I think that that's why in some way, shape or form, the message of healing and transformation came to my life. It came through some people that were very close to me, and the message came over and over: you need to come and see this meditation teacher, come and learn this technique. You can really feel better about yourself. And once that message came to me, I think it was 3 times, and the third time I said, okay, I'll do it. And that's how I came about to have my first experience with this work. And it was the hairpin bend in my life. I was going one direction, and this was a hard stop, and it was an about turn, and I've never stopped since then. It's just been a journey that's just been growing and growing and growing for me. Like I said, I felt like I was in a dark spot, and all I can see now is possibility and light and love. And I won't say that I can't believe that was me, because it was me who had those experiences. And I really acknowledge that this work has the capacity to take somebody who felt as despondent as I felt and make me somebody that I am today, that's able to not just do this work for herself, but also to, you know, support others in this work and transformation in their lives. So it's very exciting.
But tell me more about what is it that you do? What is your work? What is transformational work? And for you personally in your practice, what does that encompass?
So I'll quickly tell you that when I started my practice working with my clients, it was body work. So I did, you know, massages and other body tissue manipulation, helping people heal, feel better. I taught Reiki. I still practice Reiki, which is energetic healing, and it's a very tangible session. So, you know, you have a methodology, and you follow that, and you get the benefits. What I found is over time that with the massage and the body work, I had clients coming to me over and over again with the same repeating pattern of what they were going through.
Okay.
So for example, if they had pain in their shoulders or their calves were tight, and I gave them those treatments, they felt better, but they came back again for the same thing over and over. And I knew, because of the transformation work I had experienced, that every ache and pain and stress, it manifests itself on the physical level, but its source is in the emotional, mental, and spiritual level. And so I started to help and guide them to see what those energetic patterns might be at the source, so they could take care of that, and then their shoulder aches and their calf pain and all this could disappear. It started happening that some clients that were massage clients then became personal transformation clients, and some didn't, and that was fine. And I slowly phased out of massage work and went into focusing on the spiritual awareness and meditation work, using meditation as a vehicle, as a tool to really have a transformational experience. So how I do that is, although meditation can be done in several ways, and there's, you know, the Eastern styles and the Western styles, you have all kinds of meditation. The way I found meditation to be most effective and how I apply it with my clients is what I like to call transformational meditation.
Okay.
So what that is it's not just that we meet, now sit down, close your eyes and stare at your navel for an hour, you know, because that's what a lot of people think. Meditation is hard, it's uncomfortable, it's too long, I can't do it. There's a lot of perceptions about what meditation is. What my meditation sessions are like are more getting present to where you are right now. So in the beginning of a session, we would, you know, maybe have a conversation and really get present to where you are, how are you feeling, and what's going on, and really get present to why meditation is there for you. Like what is it about meditation that you can do today in this moment? And through the meditation session, which, like snowflakes, there are no two that are alike ever, will take you through this process, which becomes a transformational journey. And so when you put all of that together, it's like a transformational meditation. It's not just a technique that you practice over and over again, but just where you are in the present moment will create that meditation for you. When I'm with clients, of course, I help them and I guide them through a meditation, and so I have them close their eyes, and based on where they are, I allow whatever has to lead me and find that journey for them and help guide them through that. So that's kind of a little picture of what my sessions are like, and what I have found to be the most impactful way to experience meditation, so you can have a transformation at the same time.
That's great. And for your clients who work with you and longer term, so it's not just 1-2 sessions and I'm completely fine, I'm completely healed, everything is good in my life. This is a process, and this is a very personal journey that you happen to facilitate.
Yes.
And you happen to guide them through the process and steps, but it's very personal, and it's an ownership level.
Right.
So how do you inspire people to do this for themselves in the first place if they don't even know that it exists?
Right.
A lot of people don't know that you can have transformational meditation. Mm-hmm. They kind of think two separate programs or separate ideologies here happening. Right. Okay, there's transformation and there's meditation. Mm-hmm. How do they fit together? And most especially, what have your clients told you once they go through a long enough of a time period through this? Mm-hmm. How have they been transformed? What have you seen? I know you've seen a lot.
Yes, I've seen so many beautiful stories. I mean, so many beautiful stories. I've had people that have come into the work with terminal illnesses that have completely had transformations with this work. I've had people with on anxiety and depression medication that began weaning off of it and then have completely been free after their doctor told them that if you stop taking this medication, you will die. Literally.
That is powerful.
Very, very powerful. And through this work and releasing their pent-up emotional baggage from however long they've been on this planet, they were able to create the space for the healing to show up in their life. And they began by cutting the pill in half and just having half, and then switching to half every other day and then half every 4 days, and they did it with their doctors collaboration, but they weren't that supportive at the beginning, and they were really amazed at how miraculously, just by shifting what was within them, they could have such a big life-changing shift in their life. On a physical level, people have done that. On a more personal level, people have started new businesses. They found that they've been in the wrong career for 20 years, 30 years, and they've been able to create a whole new life out of this work. There's people that have reconnected with family that they haven't spoken to in 10, 20, 30, some even 40 years. I had a client once who came to a retreat and they hadn't talked to their mother and father for 40 years because of something that had happened when they were a child, and they felt that their parents didn't get them, and not realizing all that they told themselves over these years. So through the work we were able to go deeper into the understanding of what they had built up within themselves, and through the transformational piece of the meditation, able to subtract all that pain, anger, sadness and frustration, and create a space for them to have that completion with their parents, and today they're a family again. I mean, just, I can go on. There's just so many.
No, it's beautiful.
Every client has had.
And what I'm getting from what you're sharing is really that it ultimately comes down to the fact that each person has the power, has the ability, everything inside of them to move in that direction of healing, of feeling better and lighter and hopeful, and knowing that there is a path and a purpose for them, that it doesn't end here with the pain and the darkness, that even though you can't see it now, to trust and to keep moving forward. So that's very powerful work. You mentioned something that I want to go into. You also do retreats. I want to be able to like talk about that. How is that retreat different in terms of energy, the pull, the attraction of your work versus the one-on-one?
Right.
How are they different and how are they the same?
Well, they seem that my philosophy will come through whether we spend 5 minutes together or we spend 3 days together. And my philosophy really is that every human being has the potential for limitless healing, compassion, unconditional love and forgiveness. So that comes through whether it's 5 minutes, an hour, or whether it's 3 days together. So that's what's common in both experiences. Now what's unique to both experiences is the fact that in the hour we do the work, and then you go back into your life and you go do life and then we see you again in a week or a month or however you choose. In the retreat, what we do is, because we stay in the same space, in the sacred space that we create for these retreats to happen for 2-3 days, we get to go on this amazing journey together. So it begins by really getting present to where we are right now and why we are where we are right now, and more importantly, how we feel about that. You know, we can all get present to this moment, but we go a little deeper in understanding, fine, this is how we are, but how do we feel about where we are? Because that's the beginning of something, you know. When we get present to that, we slowly guide them into a space of noticing what's real and what's unreal. Because a lot of it isn't real, and I'd say all of it isn't real, because everything that we are seeing today potentially could have been something we have been carrying with us from the past, and the past isn't real anymore because it's in the past. And so we get to a place where we guide them, or I guide them into a place of noticing who that divine self is. The divine self doesn't have any of the past. All those dead bodies in the backpack, they belong in the past, not in this present moment. So that's the second phase of the retreat for them, somewhere in the middle of the retreat. And towards the end of the retreat, we come to a place of really where you get to see that you are even more than just divine. You are cosmic. You are everything. You are part of this collective consciousness. I am consciousness and you are consciousness, and together we are the collective consciousness. It's like saying that my fate isn't tied to your fate is like saying that your end of the boat is sinking. It's like we're all going to sink if you are not going to get this idea that without your healing, my healing is incomplete. So we come together as a group over at the retreat, whereas the private work is one-on-one, but in the group we get to see that everybody, however, has ended up at that retreat, has a sacred connection and a sacred purpose to be in that same place at the same time, to have that awareness, to be awakened at a deeper level, to realize they are part of the larger consciousness, and that whatever they do for themselves is helping the other person. So it's like we are healing ourselves for everybody else, and whoever's doing the work for themselves is going to also help us in healing as well. So there's really no going back once you start doing this. So the retreats are a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. They're intense, but they're fun. I like intense.
So now I want to focus a little bit about you outside the context of being a transformational coach and all your retreats and the work that you do, even though I know it really goes hand in hand with you because you just live who you are. Who are you outside of the coaching realm? Who are you outside of the professional hat?
Well, I am a mother to 3 beautiful girls, and a wife, and a daughter, and a sister, and a granddaughter, and a friend, you know, a cheerleader for all the lovely people that are in my life, to my brothers. It's a great place to be because I get to see how I can serve my children, my husband, my family, and you know, even the community at large. But it all begins with this personal connection that I have to seeing my 3 little girls really growing up into being, you know, women and, you know, ladies one day. But it really inspires me every day to serve on this planet for them, to serve on this planet for all of humanity. But I remember my life when, like before I really got committed to this was going to be my work, I thought, you know, there were several issues that I had just put in a box, and I said, you know, it was too long ago, it doesn't matter anymore, I'm just going to live my life now. You know, let's just pretend that never happened. I can be fine, I can be happy. And then I became a mother. And when I became a mother and I saw my children growing up, those things that I thought that didn't matter anymore, they started to come up for me again. And I was wondering, I said, what is this all about? I thought we had settled that. I had decided that's over. I don't need to go back there. But I tell you, it really confronted me with, if I'm not going to be 100% authentic with who I am and who I show up as in this world, how can I lead the way for these beings that I'm responsible for? You know, I love the movie Lord of the Rings. It's one of my favorite. I watch it every year. I watch all 3 movies because I'm a big fan. And I even had a dog named Hobbit. But anyway, back to your question. There's a line at the end of the Fellowship of the Ring, the first part, where Frodo says, how can you, he says this to the king that's trying to help him, you know, in his journey. And he says, how can you save me from yourself? How can you save me from yourself? When all the king is trying to do is actually protect Frodo on his journey. He turns around and he asks him this, and I remember getting chills down to my bones, because when I see my children, that's what I think, is that I can give them the best clothes and food and safety and education and like everything that comprises a parent's role in their life, motivation, inspiration. But when it really comes down to the essence, how do I give them the best of me? And if I haven't given myself the space to be the best that I can be, I'm definitely robbing them of something. And I really got committed after I became a mother that I cannot live my life on a half, you know, on half burner. It has to be full blown. I have to play full out. I have to be 100%, and all my gifts and talents and everything that I'm meant to deliver, it's going to happen now. It's not going to happen when they go to college, or when they get married, and when we have this and when we have that. No, it's going to have to happen now, because we are living now. And so I'm really committed to that, and I have to say that I wouldn't be able to do what I do if Cash wasn't my husband, because even though we've been friends since we were 3 and 4 years old and known each other our whole life, I didn't know what a big big part of this journey he would be for me, in terms of me delivering my spiritual work into the world. Because if he wasn't exactly who he is, I wouldn't be able to be exactly who I am. And with him, we have created this beautiful family, and he continues to be involved in supporting my work, and it's just such a big part of what I'm able to deliver, because I have this in my life.
So Richa, what's next for you? You have this amazing practice. You're helping a lot of people with their healing, their transformation. This is not just about healing. It's also helping people who may not necessarily believe that they need to heal, but to transcend, to move to the next level and layer. So I want to make sure that that's clear. It's not just about going to the dark places. Some people come to you feeling like they feel lighter, and they've done some work in advance, but now they're just not quite sure what's next. They want to feel more connected to themselves, to their divine self, and to the universe. The I Am Consciousness concept program is beautiful. I love it. I'm a subscriber and advocate for it. But what's next? How do you take what you do in the community here locally and expand the reach of this whole philosophy that we are a collective consciousness? How do you do that? How do you want to do that?
Well, how I intend to do that is by just not holding back myself. I have seen some amazing results with the I Am Consciousness program and the I Am retreats. The I Am Conscious program, it's a 1-year program, and it's a 1-year class with a commitment to be present to this 21 sessions together. And so far, having offered it on a local level and having just an amazing response from it, the goal is to have it available globally, internationally, and it's absolutely the curriculum is such that it's for everybody. You don't have to be in a dark place. You don't have to be, bogged down by life. You can be in any place. The beauty of this work is that you're met where you are. You are met where you are. I have people doing the I Am Consciousness program for the second time. And because the first time they did it, they were in a different place. And after they did it, they felt, now I'm in a new place. I want to do it again, because this time I'll get something different from it. And so I have people doing it again. When I got that request that people want to do it again, I'm like, wow, this is cool.
No, it's
we should do this more often.
And I think that for the people watching the show now, it's such a relief to know that they can just be met where they are. There are no prerequisites for qualifying where you are and what you need. But
I'll tell you, there's questionnaires that I did 20 years ago. I still have those. I can look at them every year, and it'll be different for me. It'll be totally different for me. So one of my intentions that have already actually started to go into motion is to create the course and curriculum that's available digitally, via email, via download, and to do webinars and conferences over the phone, and also have, every few months a retreat available, a space to physically gather as a community and commune, to have the energetic experience in a sacred space and practice the meditations that people might be doing in their own time and in their solitude.
So exciting.
But we could all come together once or twice a year and then have that togetherness of practicing the work.
I love your passion. I'm sitting here, and I know they can't see it, but your eyes are just completely sparkling right now, and I see it happening. So I'm very, very excited for you. I know that you're also going to be taking on other projects as well.
Yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about those projects?
Oh yeah, I'm so excited. It took me 18 years to come to terms with the fact that I do have to write my book. It was literally 18 years. It was so 20 years ago, someone told me, when I shared with them my story, they said, you should really write a book because it'll help other people. And I said, no. There's no way. I can never talk about this. This cannot leave this in here. It's locked up forever. And then, I meet people like you and other friends and other cheerleaders that say that, oh my God, you can't hide this. You've got to help other people can benefit from it. And I'll tell you something actually just happened on Sunday night. Okay. And I met this woman who's 19, and she stood up in front of 115 people and shared her life in just a few minutes, but she shared her life, and what she shared was similar to my experience that made me leave home at 18 and a half. And I was sitting there and watching this woman, and while a lot of people had started crying in the audience because of what she shared, I also had tears running down my eyes, but in my heart I was also so peaceful and happy that she did that, because I knew that from that moment on, she and I were connected for life. Because later I went and shared with her that what she got up and did proved to me why what I'm doing is what I not just need to do but have to do. Because like the collective consciousness piece, she can't be complete without me being complete, and vice versa. So the work that I'm doing in my book that's going to come, it has an autobiographical component to it, but it's really mashed up with the work, the actual work I do. So there's theory and there's practical, so you get to see why I'm taking a stand for what I'm taking a stand for, but you also get to learn what I am consciousness is and why it's important for it to exist, and how it's making a difference in people's lives, and how the transformation is happening through the retreats and through the programs and the philosophy of I am consciousness, really. So I'm really excited about it. It's like, like I said, 20 years in the making, but it was something that had to be birthed, and I'm really looking forward to that happening soon.
Well, tell the audience, tell people watching the show, how do they find more information about you? Where do they go? How can they, be inspired more by your work? And how can they reach out and speak with you directly?
Oh, absolutely. I have a website, richabadami.com, that you're welcome to visit. In fact, I invite you to visit. We're constantly adding new nuggets and information about our programs and events. And more importantly, you can get to know me at a more personal level, because I love to write and blog and share like little things of what happened today, and you get to, I guess, get into my world a little bit more. And there's some great videos of past participants that have experienced the work, and other information that can be found as to when our next program is, next retreat is. And we have a weekly, monthly newsletter that goes out as well, that you can get, and get some meditations. Of course, meditations. You can download MP3 meditations from the website, so you can begin your, see what meditation is for you, like right now, like as soon as you finish watching this.
Well, thank you for being here, and I'm certainly going to have you back once that book is ready to be launched and shared to the world. So appreciate you being here today, and I know that a lot of people out there are going to really consider what transformational work can do for them where they're at right now.
Oh, absolutely.
So, thanks
where
for doing
they're
what
at
you
right
do.
now. I like that you said that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Join us on the next show. Thank you, Richa.